Okay, so the name of our workshop is Engaging Students in Remote Reading Through Text Analysis and Discussion. In this video, we're going to go through some of the ideas and resources that we've compiled around remote reading to share with you and show you how to access these materials should you choose to use them in your own classroom.
Okay. So the way that we presented this materials was in a series of stations. There are 4 different stations. Each one corresponds to what stage in your planning you are to create structures for remote reading. So for example, station 1 would be about choosing the right book, right? So if you are right at the beginning of the planning, you would say, go straight here and look at some of the criteria that we use in order to choose a book that would be engaging for our students. Station 2 is getting started. So once you have your book, what are your next steps? 3 is daily structures, so everyday logistics, and 4 is assessing students' learning around their reading. Okay. This is station 1.
So station 1 is all about choosing the right book. So we take you through some considerations in choosing a book, some different ideas for choosing between a whole class novel or separate books for book clubs. We also give you some examples of units that we have planned and taught and different books that we chose, along with different supports that we provided.
Okay. Station 2 is all about getting started with book clubs. There are several steps that I outlined for you, whether it's deciding on the structure, the types of student groupings, how you're going to distribute books and rollout. Within the presentation, you'll notice that there are several links to materials that you can use. They're ready to use. So, for example, using the calendar as a book club structure is how we gave daily reading assignments to students. There's also an image of how we structured our Google Classroom to inform students about where to find their materials, the types of student groupings that we did and why, and how to distribute books to students remotely, as well as how to roll out materials to students. So all the materials that are linked within this presentation are also in the folders that were shared with you after the workshop. Station 3 is like the nitty-gritty daily structure. So what are students doing? What are you doing as they're moving through book clubs and discussions? So some things to consider is building background knowledge in an engaging way. How are kids reading? These are the different ways and different supports that we've built into the daily reading structure for students to gain better access to the books. Some pre-discussion structures that we set up and linked here as well. And what to do during discussions. So if you're meeting with one group, what are other students doing? Here we delineate what the teacher is doing versus what the students are doing. And then again, some tips and cautions just in case.
Okay, the last station, station 4, is all about assessment. So once students have read the text or participated in the book club discussion, how are you assessing them? So again, we've given you some considerations for how you might implement a text or book club discussion, whether it be synchronous or asynchronous. We've also provided some different ideas for platforms. Then we've also included, again, linked in here, some different tools we've used to track and assess students during discussion, and also after or during asynchronous discussions, some different ways that we've used different platforms to assess asynchronous discussions. Some other ideas also linked here: reading journals, reading charts. Again, these are all linked in the folders. And then these are two examples of a branch form you could use to check comprehension on a text or a book, or quizzes, which is branch forms are a nice way to sort of differentiate. So there are two examples also there.
Okay, and then all of these materials are delineated by station. So anything that is linked, for example, in station 1, you will find in the folder labeled station 1 separately, station 2, etc. Okay. Thank you guys.